Have you ever had that feeling like you're living under a giant microscope? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful psychological quirk that's behind it all, the spotlight effect. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You walk into a room a little late or you have a bad hair day, and you are just convinced that every single person has stopped what they're doing to stare, to judge, and to make a mental note. Let's just paint a quick picture here. You're walking down the street, everything's fine, you're minding your own business, and then, bam, you stumble over absolutely nothing. A perfectly flat piece of pavement just reached out and grabbed you. And instantly, your face feels hot, right? Your internal monologue just goes into overdrive, screaming, "Oh my God, everyone saw that. That was so embarrassing." You are 100% certain that the entire world just paused to witness your little moment of clumsiness. So that intense feeling, that feeling of being totally exposed under a microscope, well, it actually has a name. And just knowing what it is, that's the very first step to breaking free from it. Officially, it's called the spotlight effect, and it's a really common, well-documented cognitive bias where we just systematically believe that the social spotlight on us is way, way brighter than it actually is. You know, a great way to think about it is that you are, naturally, the absolute star of your own show. I mean, it's your life. The mistake we all make is assuming that we're anything more than just a background character, an extra in everybody else's movie. So, why do our brains do this to us? Why do we construct this, imaginary audience that's just hanging on our every move? Well, it really all starts with how we're wired. A huge part of it comes down to something called an egocentric bias. Now, that doesn't mean we're selfish. It just means we are anchored in our own experiences. We literally can't see the world from any other perspective but our own. So our thoughts, our feelings, that embarrassing stumble, it's all incredibly vivid and important to us. And since we have no idea what's going on in anyone else's head, our brain just defaults to assuming our experience is the experience, placing us right in the center of a spotlight that isn't really there. But here's the crucial part. And honestly, this is the part that is so liberating when you really get it. There is a massive gap between what we think people notice and what they actually do. Let's just look at this contrast here. In your head, tripping on the sidewalk was this huge, unforgettable blunder. But in their reality, most people are way too busy worrying about their own to-do lists, their own bad hair day, their own insecurities. They just don't have the mental bandwidth to focus on you. And this chart illustrates the data perfectly. There are all these studies on the spotlight effect, and they all show the same thing. In one famous one, they had people wear an embarrassing t-shirt into a room and then guess how many people noticed it. And what happened? People consistently guessed that twice as many people noticed as actually did. The bar for our perception is always sky high, while the reality, it's way, way down here. So here's the bottom line, the big truth. That spotlight you feel is on you. It's mostly self-generated. You're the one holding the lamp, which also means you can be the one to turn it off. Okay, so knowing all this is one thing, but actually feeling it and living it is something else entirely. So how can we actively step out of that self-made spotlight in our day-to-day lives? Okay, let's walk through 4 simple but really powerful mindset shifts. First up, the reality check. Just be honest with yourself. How much do you remember about the outfits of strangers you passed on the street today? Probably close to 0. So apply that same logic to yourself. Second, shift your focus outward. Instead of being an observer of yourself, become an observer of the world around you. Third, embrace imperfection. Making mistakes doesn't make you a failure, it just makes you human. And finally, my absolute favorite, the so what test. Even in the worst case scenario, let's say someone did notice you trip. So what? Is it going to matter in a week, a day, an hour? Probably. All right, so let's wrap this all up with one final, really empowering idea to take with you. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures everything we've been talking about. It's not about not caring what anyone thinks, ever. It's about recalibrating your perspective to match up with reality. And the payoff for doing this is just huge. I mean, when you stop performing for an audience that isn't even there, you get this incredible freedom to just be yourself. You can ask that quote-unquote stupid question in a meeting, you can wear that bold outfit, you can try that new hobby, all without that fear of judgment holding you back. So I'm going to leave you with this question to really think about. If you could truly, 100%, switch off that internal spotlight, what would you do?
What new things would you try? What parts of yourself that you normally hide would you let shine through? The answer to that's where the real freedom begins.